Hello and welcome to my fin combo tutorial. As you maybe or probably already know, a fin combo is the most advanced combo in Cookie Clicker because you get every cookie benefiting buff active at the same time. You achieve this by savescumming in a particular way where you only play the game for a few seconds per day. Now, the main concept of a fin combo is that you harvest a caramelized sugar lump every day and abuse its ability, when you harvest it, to refill the sugar lump cooldowns on the minigames, more specifically the grimoire from the wizard tower. So basically, when you got an upcoming building special, you cast it and use it, save it, and just keep on doing it until you get the 20 building specials. And if there's not a building special inside, you'll just cast the stretch time spell to make the already active building specials last longer. There are also ways to get a building special or multiple building specials naturally, and although that's possible, I would not recommend it, or maybe I just don't like it, but it definitely can speed up your fin combo. More on that later though. Then there are also buffs like the Elder Frenzy or godzamok, and these ones you should get as soon as possible, and after you get the Elder Frenzy you cast the ineptitude diminished spell to make more spells succeed in the future, which will make it easier for you to keep the active buffs because you can cast more stretch time spells in a row. Before you actually start preparing things for the fin combo though, I would advise you to make a list on real paper with all the building specials or every buff you need, just to be more organized. Well, that's at least what I like to do. You don't necessarily need it. This should probably look something like this. All the buffs, as you know: Elder Frenzy, godzamok, the Sugar Frenzy, Dragon Harvest, Dragonflight, Click Frenzy, and then all the building specials. But okay, I will more specifically tell you now how to get them. You could technically start your fin combo from every point of the game, although I would definitely advise you to get all the cookies baked all times achievement, so having baked at least a tray of Gentillion, and maybe get some buildings to level 10, more specifically the wizard towers, because it makes the execution of some stretch time strategies a bit easier. I'm not sure if it's even possible without, but I would definitely get this one to level 10. You should also get all the upgrades and stuff, and do a little preparation combo in the start of the ascension, just to get some more cookies, which you can spend on more buildings before actually doing the fin combo. I don't think this is something you necessarily need to pull off the fin combo, but it's for sure something I would advise you to do. When you're actually starting the fin combo, you should prepare a few stacked frenzies and dragon harvests, maybe like 2-3 frenzies and 2 dragon harvests, that should be enough. And as you can see, I immediately go into my save. After I exported it to import scum, I took out the first and third loan because they take the longest. Click the Sugar Frenzy. We'll get a Click Frenzy from the next post-native fate spell, because as you can see it's still Valentine season, so the right bar of the spell is activated. You can see why this is important as soon as I get the Dragonflight, and you should also have the Dragonflight aura activated. And also the, very important, the Epoch Manipulator to make the golden cookie effects last longer. I know it's very bad communicated on what the aura does, but although it says golden cookies stay longer, they don't really stay longer on screen, but the effects last longer. Now we wait till the Dragonflight appears, or like the next golden cookie, the potential Dragonflight. We want it to be a Dragonflight, but we don't really click it for now. So as you can see here, I probably did a small cut in my editing software here. As soon as the golden cookie appears, I took out the second loan because it doesn't last as long, then immediately cast my Force the Hand of Fate spell, which is a Click Frenzy, and then click the Spawn Cookie, and after that the Grimoire Spawn Cookie, the Click Frenzy. This is very important that you do it in this order, because you really want to cast the Click Frenzy after the Dragonflight spawn, or the potential Dragonflight spawn, but you want to click the Dragonflight before the Click Frenzy, because if you have a Click Frenzy buff active, and you get a dragonflight, there's like an 80% chance, I guess, where the dragonflight just stacks onto a longer lasting click frenzy, and then you don't have the click frenzy buff anymore. And also, the golden cookie can't be a dragonflight if you already got a click frenzy buff active. So again, you want to have the dragonflight spawn, then cast the click frenzy, then click the dragonflight, and then click the click frenzy. It's a bit complicated, I know, but that's fine, that's just how the game works. Now, as you can see, I didn't get it here, but I got it later. I also recorded it when I got it. I will probably show it to you with my editing software. And after I got it, I changed the auras to, or the dragonflight aura to the supreme intellect aura, so I can cast spells more efficiently while I am executing the Fin combo. Not really executing, but still preparing all the building specials, you know. Okay, so this is how it looks when you try to import your mods. As you can see, I opened my .txt file. That's just basically a paste bin where I keep all my copy and paste stuff, like my mods or my save code. So as you can see, I copied the mods and hit F12 on my keyboard. This opens a console part of your browser, and you want to make sure you paste the mods you just copied into your console from the browser. Just paste it, hit enter, then you can basically close the console part again by hitting F12 again. It will ask you if you, because it could cause some errors or something, but it doesn't really cause errors, so you just admit to that, and then you're fine. You installed the mods. After that, you just basically hit Control and O. This is the shortcut for importing your save file. I also copied the save file somewhere else in my notepad file, my .txt. Copied it and pasted it into the Control and O shortcut window, and then hit enter and was ready to go. The mods I use are fortune cookie, timer widget, and choose your own lamp. To begin with fortune cookie, this is a mod which basically has a whole lot of options and a whole lot of features. It can show you the outcome of all of your spells, whether it's a backfire or a success, but it also shows you the specific golden cookie outcome, which you can also set in an individual color for. For instance, I set my building special outcome to some kind of purple, and it also shows you the Gambler's Fever Dream outcome, which most mods like these don't, so that's pretty valuable. The choose your own lump one, you need this to make a caramelized sugar lump grow every day. So basically it shows you what specific amount of grandmas, auras and pantheon slots you need in order to get a certain sugar lump. In my settings I left the variations for dragon auras and pantheon slots open so that it won't show it to me, because caramelized lumps aren't usually that rare, so you will most likely find a combination of grandmas to get the caramelized sugar lump without any further effort, so that's fine. Finally, and this is very very important because otherwise the choose your own lump will most of the times not work, you gotta make sure that you put the discrepancy, I think it's called, value to 0. Also, you want to make sure you auto harvest every caramelized sugar lump, because otherwise the predicted next sugar lump you set with your certain amount of grandmas won't work. And finally, the timer widget mod is just a mod to show what buffs are currently active and for how long they will be active for until they run out. The numbers that are there displayed are in seconds, so don't be confused with the Lone 3 one, that's just the number is too large, so skip the line. It's now 100,000 seconds or something, it's like 3 days, I don't know. A few days of using the stretch time spell later, I got my Elder Frenzy in the grimoire, As you can see, I bought back more wizard towers. Also, I will definitely show you how to efficiently cast the stretch time spell later in the video. But as you can see, I bought back my wizard towers, my 500 wizard towers, then squeezed another stretch time spell in because I could before I had to cast the Elder Frenzy. But immediately after that, I cast the Elder Frenzy, clicked it, and immediately saved it, refreshed, and then exported the save and waited for the next day. What I did when I wanted to get the godzamok bath is I slotted down the 2 highest spirits. This is basically not really relevant, it's only important that you got godzamok as your first one and the vomitrack spirit as your second highest spirit, but they both act as your highest spirit because you got the supreme intellect aura still active. Now I slotted them down, sold I think Grand Moss, which I had to do anyways because of my sugar lump manipulation, and then immediately saved and refreshed after. As you can see, I got an error message from the server because I got some server connection issues sometimes. I don't know why, I just suppose they got DDoS against or something. But after that I loaded the cookie clicker site again and everything was fine. You also want to make sure that when your buffs are really short, you can spam stretch time 4 times in a row with like 101 magic and the supreme intellect aura. You really need the supreme intellect aura for this. This is a necessity. You can spam it 4 times back to back and then just save and refresh. That way you don't lose much time at all, but you could still cast it. Okay, so now I will explain to you how you implement a simple building special from the Force the Hand of Fate spell into your run. So you basically just want to open the save file, check the grandmas needed for your next caramelized sugar lump, then refresh, and then you try until you get it all in a row. So you basically just buy to 501 visitors, then Force the Hand of Fate spell. In my case it was the first spell, which was the building special. So as you notice, I clicked the Force the Hand of Fate spell, then sold down the Wizard's Towers, then clicked the golden cookie, which is supposed to be a building special, and then as you notice I didn't click the building special right away. I just sold the Wizard Towers down to only one first, so I can click the building special and immediately after cast 2 stretch time spells. You will not necessarily get the correct building special. You want to make sure you get a building special that's a new building special for you, not one you already stacked, so it's getting increasingly harder the further you progress with the Fin combo. But it's not necessarily hard, it just takes a bit of savescumming. I also advise you every now and then, before you're casting a new planned building special, that you're clicking the cookie a few times and buy some buildings of the building special buildings you didn't get yet. So that way it increases the boost of the next building special, because you got more buildings and that way you get a higher boost. Okay, so for quincasting you want 501 level 10 wizard towers and at least 1 last magic unit in your magic meter. So as you can see, I buy back to 501 wizard towers and then immediately after refill my magic meter, cast a stretch time spell. After that you're gonna sell back to 221 wizard towers and you're gonna cast it again. After that you're gonna sell your wizard towers to 71, cast it again, and then sell all the way back to 1 wizard tower and cast it twice. If you use the supreme intellect aura, you should have some leftover magic, and with like I guess 6 magic units left in your magic meter at least, you can alternate between quincasting and hexcasting. Also, you should make sure that your execution has to be faster the faster your buffs run out. So if you don't have as much, so if your buffs last shorter, your execution has to be better in order to make up for that difference in time. But you can also hexcast the stretch time spell. For that it's a necessity to have the supreme intellect aura slotted in, and you have to have at least 6 leftover magic in your magic meter. Alright, next thing you want for hexcasting is owning 601 visitors, so 100 more than you would usually want to buy. Then you cast stretch time, sell down to 291, stretch time again, sell down to 101, cast the spell again, then sell down to 21, there you want to cast the spell twice, and finally you sell down to 1 and cast it again. Unfortunately though, you'll sooner or later encounter backfire in your stretch time spells. This is also the reason why you should go for the ineptitude diminished buff as soon as possible to reduce the amount of backfires in your stretch time spells, but it's going to happen a few times anyways, so it's unavoidable. What you want to do there is that you basically do your normal hexcast or quincast thingy. In my example it was a hexcast and the backfire was in the 4th spell, but you cast it normally until you get to the backfire, but then you make sure you don't press stretch time in that spell that backfires, but instead you press the Gambler's Fever Dream spell, and you immediately save and refresh right after, so that the second phase of the Gambler's Fever Dream spell doesn't activate. Because the way the Gambler's Fever Dream spell works is that it first of all takes the magic you need to run the spell, but after that, maybe like 1 or 2 seconds delayed, it takes the spell it chose, takes the magic of that spell, divided by 2, and you don't want that phase to activate. So the thing is, after you save and refresh, you do your normal quincast or hexcast, you just keep going with your normal quincast or hexcast thingy, but with 1 spell less that would have backfired, but you basically traded it for a Gambler's Fever Dream spell in the first phase. Because the Gambler's Fever Dream spell is also quite cheap compared to other spells, or specifically the stretch time spell, you should be able to hexcast after that day, because you should have enough magic left in your magic meter to do a hexcast again. Now, obviously you can also go for natural buffs, although you should definitely make sure that all your current buffs are lasting long enough so you won't lose them over time while you're waiting for the natural golden cookies. And there's a quite interesting method to manipulate the luck value for getting natural golden cookie buffs. So it's called multitabbing, and basically what you want to do for that is get into your save file, get your cookie clicker ready. You want to make sure that golden cookies can spawn, so the Grand Apocalypse is deactivated, so only golden cookies will spawn, except if you're going for an Elder Frenzy obviously, but I personally do not recommend that. It's easier to get that from the grimoire. Or the golden switch, that's also an example for what could prevent golden cookies from spawning. I also advise you to activate the golden cookie alert switch, so it always makes a sound when a golden cookie appears, because you will not be able to look at every tab you will open at once in your browser, except if you get like 20 or 30 monitors, but I highly doubt that. So what you want to do after you did that is that you want to copy your save file and open a whole lot of browser tabs, and then you basically just wait until you hear golden cookie noises. Every time you hear one, you will check which tab it came from, then you click the golden cookie, and if it's an unwanted buff like Frenzy or a Lucky, or maybe even a building special that you've already got, you just paste the save code you just copied in and wait again until the golden cookie appears. And the other scenario in which you got the building special you wanted, or one of your building specials you wanted, you're going to click on options and export the save file and basically take it as a new gained building special and save it somewhere else. Now, the execution part wasn't hard at all, it did all go as planned. As you can see, I changed the aura, unfroze the gun, and then immediately started selling and rebuying the buildings. After that, as soon as I hit the 6 AM UTC time zone for the Cyclist, Spirit, Temple God or whatever, I waited for the golden cookie to spawn. You could wait for the news ticker golden cookie here, but unfortunately I'm stupid and clicked it before I started the fin combo already. So what I did then is to just summon more golden cookies, the tray cast, then I refilled, did another dual cast, harvested the sugar lump, refilled by mana again, and then dual casted again. After that I just clicked the cookie and unfortunately forgot Malcasium, the temple god, but shortly after I remembered it, put it there, and then clicked until the golden cookies despawned. And yeah, that's basically it, but don't forget the chocolate egg. teach you is this screen reader mode. I don't really know what it does, but I only know how to abuse it. So basically you can buy buildings with that mode really fast. For example, you sell these two, and then if you hold shift and enter, I use the shift button right below the enter button on my keyboard. That's a bit easier to use those two at the same time. And then I press left click. It clicks this with like 20 to 30 CPS, I'm not sure. And then this. But this only works with buying buildings. If you try to sell 100 of them, that would not work. But there's no reason to do it anyway, because you can just sell all. And then you can buy them back very fast again. Remember to keep holding shift and enter. As you can see, it just keeps buying. But unfortunately, you can't click the cookie with it very fast. That's not how it works. It's only for buying buildings. Alright, so that should be it. I think I covered every main aspect of fin combo. I wish you all good luck on actually executing your fin combo, or like attempting it to be more exact. And I really hope to see more competition on the Scum leaderboard. You can apply for the leaderboard in their official Discord server, and then you DM a guy named Kevich or Nyancat to get on the leaderboard. You have to show them their stats page or something. You'll see. And yeah, if you still got any questions or something, you can always at my alt account on Discord. I will show you the info right now on the screen, but this might be outdated someday, so you will definitely find the most recent version of my alt account info in my channel page. And yeah, I think that's it. Good luck on your fin combo.